What's going on, guys? This is No Filter, a Nintendo podcast, and here is my review for Tanzia for Nintendo Switch. Tanzia is developed by Arcanity and is on the eShop for $20. Tanzia is an RPG, however, for me, it looks like a game that would be like a typical 3D platformer that you would have seen on the GameCube or the PS2, for example. Tanzia is very pretty to look at in that way because it's beautiful, colorful worlds. However, it definitely does have graphics of a GameCube or early Wii generation type of a game. So not very impressive in that way. But again, having a full 3D realized world in a handheld system like the Switch, it's really kind of nice, and it does bring you back and have some nostalgia, even though this is a brand new game in 2018 here. So when I say it's an RPG, it's a lot like an MMO, some very basic combat, and it's a lot about the upgrades and spells that you unlock and allow for your character. It's the combat and all that stuff isn't too crazy. It's a lot more about like how powerful you are, and that's when you'll kill the enemies. But towards the end of the game, you'll have some boss battles, and you'll have some waves of enemies that are a lot more difficult that you're going to have to really balance your timing with the spells that you use and how many you have to unlock and to use in the game. The story of Tanzia revolves around the island of Tanzia and a threat from the evil Skeleton King. You are a race of human-like creatures called the Akazi, and you, the main character, have been blessed with an additional power of magic and spells that you were given, I guess, granted from your grandfather, and he was one of the lead alchemists. Your grandfather has since gone missing, and the Skeleton King has been threatening to attack the island of Tanzia, so you must go and find your grandfather and try to find a way to stop the Skeleton King from killing your people on the island. The game is an open world game, so you'll unlock different areas as you progress. There are different enemies. You'll find like turtles on the island. You'll have little trolls. You'll have an enemy race that live on the island with the Akazi, and you'll have a lot of towns that you visit and different areas like that. So again, it's very plentiful. It has a lot of variety in where you go and the people that you see and the enemies that you fight. And again, the world is kind of revolved around alchemy and spell casting. So you will have to be fighting a lot of enemies, collecting a lot of gold to unlock the different spells. And you will need those spells because the game can get very difficult at times. You will have different boosts that you can have that will increase your speed, which is really great because it lets you move around the world even quicker. But you also get different abilities like, say, a shield for a certain amount of time, invincibility, and all these come as potions that you will be able to use, and you really have to use your inventory system very well because you're going to have to be using a lot of these spells and potions very quickly, but there's always a cooldown time for each one. So sometimes your health will be running low and you won't have another health potion to use because the cooldown time is taking a little bit of time for you, so you really need to balance the spells that you use with the potions that you use and their cooldown times while you're facing these enemies. And again, sometimes there are these huge waves of enemies that will attack you, and it can definitely be quite a little bit to handle. So you're going to want to be grinding at some points possibly, but overall the game isn't too difficult, but there definitely are some instances that you're going to have to use some deep strategy to really figure out how to pass. A lot of the side quests, there's a ton of side quests in the game. They're not anything too special. It's not like there's any crazy story to them. It's really just kind of go kill 10 people or go collect 6 of these, or one of the most annoying ones was like basically rally like 30 crabs into a little pen, which was really annoying, and I just ended up quitting halfway. I was like, this is so dumb. Why is this a small side quest when it's really just kind of doing a menial task over and over? But to be fair, even though that is like a bad design decision, it is kind of reminiscent to a lot of the games of that this is kind of calling back to. So, I kind of appreciate it at the same time, but it's definitely not a fun way to beef up the game by just throwing in these needless fetch quests. But yeah, overall, I definitely enjoyed it. It kind of scratched a nostalgia itch for me, which was like a 3D action game that I haven't played in a while. A game like this, though, does look like it should be more of a platformer, but this definitely is not more of a platformer. This is more of an RPG, 3D world, open world RPG, but in the vein of games from the GameCube or PS2 era. The world, again, is very beautiful, a lot of variety. The island's very nice, although again it's the dated graphics, but it's beautiful in that aspect if you know what I mean. But yeah, no, Tanzia overall, I definitely enjoyed the game. If you guys are looking for a game like this, think maybe N64 or GameCube or PS2 era kind of 3D platformers or 3D action games. I think this might be right up your alley. So I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you all next time.